Hello and welcome to Haifa. Thank you for coming. I see here that many of you have already attended the Jerusalem event. So I had originally planned on doing the same talk. But good news, I'm not going to do the same talk. I'm going to do a different talk. However, this one is going to be more advanced. It's dependent on you having let go of belief and residing instead in faith. And it's still going to be about reuniting our spiritual family in unconditional love. And now we're going to do it through gratitude. So I'm going to recap, for those of you who are not there in Jerusalem, why I talk about letting go of belief, and I talk about faith instead, and why it is essential that we let go of belief in order to have this gratitude that will unveil the unconditional love. Belief is what causes suffering. Belief has an opposite. All belief has an opposite belief. That opposite belief comes in the form of doubt. That doubt creates internal conflict. That internal conflict leads to external conflict, which manifests itself in individual relationships and externally also in groups, war, torture, all these horrible things that we do in the name of belief. This is not what I'm talking about when I say faith. Faith has no doubt. Faith is 100% certain. Faith does not come from reasoning. Belief comes from reason. Belief comes from thoughts. Belief tries to, when we believe, we try to support our belief. We defend against our belief because we identify with our belief. We sometimes defend with our very lives, and we kill in the name of belief. With faith, there's nothing to defend. Nothing can be attacked. It's like the love you have for a child. That you can't, somebody can try with their arguments to say, no, you really don't love your child. It doesn't matter what they say or what they do to you. They can't take that away from you. Faith is unmovable. So if we still have some element of holding on to belief, we have what I call the I think therefore I lie technique, or the ITTIL technique. And that dissolves belief. And it uses thoughts as a tool instead of a source of suffering. So since the I think therefore I lie technique can dissolve belief, and when you do that, it unveils our true nature, which is unconditional love. Isn't that all there is to it? And for some of us, it might be. It was not in my case. What happens is we have conditioning, years and years, decades and decades of conditioning. And that conditioning causes reactivity in us and resistance to what is. The thing is, when we drop belief, it's harder and it's trickier to discern resistance from personal preference. So let's say you've reserved a rental car, and you go to the rental car company, and you wanted a Toyota, and lo and behold, they give you a Chevy. So resistance would be, hey, look, I'm a platinum member, I've been here, I've been with you guys for 10 years, and every time I go to get my car, you give me something other than what I really wanted. I wanted a Toyota. And the guy said, oh, I'm very sorry, sir, you know, there's nothing we can do about it, that's all we have available. And then you say, well, no, I want to see a manager. And you're resisting that. That resistance creates a negative emotion in you. With personal preference, it's different. Personal preference, you go over there and say, yep, I'm here to get my rental car. And they say, oh, sorry, we've got a Chevy. And you'll be, okay, I've got a Chevy. Now, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to settle with a Chevy. It's not acceptance in the sense of being passive about whatever happens to you. You can take action, but you're taking it from an action, from an area, from inner peace, from a state of inner peace. So you can change things. You can say, well, okay, but I don't want a Chevy, so what are my other options? I could go to the other rental place, you know, and risk canceling, losing this car and having no car, and seeing if they have Toyota available, or I can just go with a Chevy. So the big difference is to see within yourself whether there is any negative feeling, any kind of emotion that arises at that point, like even, it can be subtle, like the slightest bit of impatience, the slightest bit of irritability. You look and find that within, and then you see that now it's not a matter of personal preference, it's a matter of resisting what is. So what is the solution when we're resisting what is? The solution is, one solution I offer is the gratitude technique. And once you do the gratitude technique, you are in complete acceptance of what is. And then from there, the next step is very simply to ask, is there something I can do at this moment? You do that from a position of acceptance. If you do it, if you try to reverse it, normally people say, well, is there anything I can do about this? And that's how we act. We're constantly trying to change the situation in order to change our inner state. And here, what the gratitude technique does is to allow an openness to whatever arises first. So your inner state is what you focus on. And from that peaceful inner state, you can affect change to what is. So acceptance does not mean you sit around and take it. If somebody comes at you and flails insults at you, you don't sit there, oh, thank you very much for the insults. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about not being reactive to that, not flailing insults back at this person. You're in a state of inner peace and unconditional love. You feel love even when you're being attacked. And then you say, you walk off. You don't have to put up with that. That's not what acceptance is. I've had a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to sit there and take it. That's a confusion. With this, when you're in a state where you are in acceptance of what is, there's no negative associated feelings. This is the thing about gratitude, what I love about it. It's very powerful because with gratitude, there can be no resistance. It's not possible to have both at the same time. When you do this, when you practice the gratitude technique, you're putting your attention all the time on gratitude, not on resisting, on gratitude. What happens? Neuroplasticity of the brain kind of rewires your brain and your thinking. so that gratitude eventually becomes automatic, no matter what arises. Now, normal gratitude, when we talk about gratitude, oh, I'm grateful for my good health. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for this and that. They're usually talking about what we consider to be the good things. It's easy, however, to be very grateful for the good things. This is not about that. This is where it gets a little bit radical. The focus is to be grateful for things that you used to think of, and I use the past tense, because with the gratitude technique, you will no longer be thinking in terms of good and bad. You used to think of as bad. What we do is we start off easy with this technique. We take events that happened in the past day, and we're in a quiet place and we write it down. This is not like the ITTIL technique. We actually write it down and we look for any resistance. We just remember the past day and we look for any time that we were resisting. Something small, like you order a pizza and you're a vegetarian and you put anchovies on there or meatballs or whatever. And then you find 3 reasons, you write them down, that resonate for you, that why you are grateful for that event. I am grateful that the pizza came with meatballs on it because is critical. Write what happened, feel the resistance that you had at that moment, and write because. Now normally, you're going to feel the resistance to that. You'll be like, there is no way, that's what I felt in the beginning, there's no way I'm going to be able to find reasons that resonate for me for being grateful for having meatballs on my pizza. This is where faith comes in. If we ask the question on an intellectual level, we're going to be playing a game with ourselves. We're just answering it to get the exercise done, and we're not doing anything. I promise you, if you do this from a level of faith, which is a level of stillness, which transcends thought, just let the question sit. The answer will come. You will see that things are not happening to you, they're happening for you. And all you have to do is ask, how is this happening for me? And you will have a revelation every time just by asking the question. Don't pressure yourself, give it some time. Then take it to the next level. When you start being able to do that, then you don't have to go to the past 24 hours. You can go to your entire past and remember something that happened to you, that you felt happened to you, that really you resist. Sometime where you were humiliated, sometime where you felt that somebody did something to you, a traumatic event, and find, I am grateful for that because, and write it down. My number 1 fan, and the first person to practice both the ITTIL technique and the gratitude technique, was my mother. No surprise there. She was not feeling well in early October. On October 8th, I took her to emergency. And we thought, I was kind of suspicious that it might be something like her gallbladder or something like that. So I took her to the best hospital. I took her to the Mayo Clinic, right? And within 2 hours, we were told that she had pancreatic cancer. And so she turned to me and she was smiling. And she said, kind of in a sneaky way, okay, now how am I supposed to be grateful for this? And I just sat in silence, and then she got it. She got what I was doing. I didn't answer her. She realized that this was a question for her. And in my stillness, she found her stillness. She found her faith. And this is what she said to me. I am grateful I was told I had pancreatic cancer because no decisions need to be made right now. I'm free of that. She said, I am grateful I was told I had pancreatic cancer because she's connected with me now in this moment like she's never been connected before. She said, I'm grateful that I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer because she realized that every second is precious. And she has no more worries. So, what does this have to do? What does this gratitude and this gratitude technique have to do with unconditional love? When there is gratitude without conditions, this becomes a gateway for unconditional love. This transcends the normal use of gratitude where we're only grateful for the good things. Here we're grateful for everything. So that's unconditional. Whatever arises, we're grateful for it. This gratitude transcends any situation. It transcends good or bad, right or wrong. This gratitude is a constant opening of the hand. Acceptance. So whatever arises, we don't hold on to it, we let it be. With this gratitude technique, you live every moment with an open hand. That is the gateway to unconditional love. And as we stand in this unconditional love, whether we are teachers through our actions or our words, or whether we are silent and we have no contact with anybody, we affect everyone because we are actually one. The whole universe is affected by this. And this is how we reunite our spiritual family in unconditional love. And we are one with everyone. As Rumi said, we are not a drop in the ocean. We are the entire ocean in one drop. Thank you.